Hey everyone, Jeremy here. It is Tuesday night and we're going to create some art. It's going to be awesome. It is Tuesday night. Yesterday was St. Patrick's Day, so I'm still a little sloshed. That doesn't mean I'm not going to be drinking my bourbon tonight. I would still will be, even though I have drank way too much over this past weekend. But I think I'll manage. You can tell I've already been drinking. What are we working on tonight? That's a great question. It's been a little while since I've done a charcoal picture. I don't want to like lose any kind of like skills that I built up and stuff. So I like to revisit some of the things that I do every now and then. Even though I'm on this like watercolor pastel kind of series kick, and I still plan on coming back to that. Every now and then I want to try something different. So tonight it's going to be charcoal. Hopefully that's cool with you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and jump right in and get started. Uh, I've been really doing a lot of colorful pictures lately. This is going to be just a black and white, simple drawing, very low key. Hopefully it turns out well. We'll see how it goes. Got a couple people in the room already. We got Rome Dog, we got Kid. That's enough for a party, so this is going to be great. So, uh, yeah, like, um, I drank way too much over this weekend. It was pretty bad. Um, Not too bad. I mean, I'm a responsible drinker, but I did have a lot of fun. I love St. Patrick's Day. It's been great. Um, but you know, back in the uh, back in the work mode now, so I have to drink more coffee than anything else. But yeah, like I said, it's been a while since I've done a charcoal picture. I do like black and white pictures. I like drawing in charcoal. It's a little bit more actual drawing than some of the pastel stuff I do. So I was uh I was debating what I was going to work on tonight, and I'm like, I've never done a lion. I don't think I've ever done a lion. So I'm like, well, I haven't done charcoal in a while. I haven't done a lion ever that I can recall. So what a great combination. His kid says, "Meow, hear me roar." But yeah, I think this will turn out okay. Hopefully, I remember how to draw in charcoal. It's been a little while. There's some cool little effects that I like to do in charcoal with painting with water and charcoal. So we're going to touch upon that a little bit tonight, in case like you've never seen any of my charcoal pictures. That's a cool little fun technique that I bring to it. But I'm getting started with this eye just so that I kind of have like an anchor point here. Um, what is cool about charcoal is that it's easily blendable. Um, It doesn't give you a reflection like graphite does. That's one of the things I don't like about graphite. Graphite is very shiny. Charcoal is not. So I do like that aspect of charcoal. Hey, we got Kinsley in the house. Nice. Jeremy O'Purnell. So believe it or not, there's an Irish politician from like the 1900s, I think. They called him like the uncrowned ruler of Ireland, Charles Stewart Parnell. I think he's a distant relative of mine. Like, obviously he's not alive anymore, but I think he was like a couple of generations back or something like that. I'm not sure, like a cousin of some sort. I don't really know. I'm not the genealogist in the family. My mom is, but I think she mentioned something about that at some point. So that's kind of cool. Im Young says, draw Yaquez cleaning Balto. Balto is a wolf dog. Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, I did run into an Irish wolfhound. So I might be drawing an Irish wolfhound soon because that was cool. Just out walking on the street. It looks like a big old Chewbacca looking dog. Big old wiry brush looking thing. But yeah, I'm trying to get through all the different dogs. Oh, Jacketh is a cleaner shrimp, probably from Finding Nemo. I should have remembered that. Yeah, I probably pronounced that wrong too. Yeah, I don't get all the references you guys come up with, but some of them I do. I do watch a lot of movies, so you guys can try me and see if I recognize something, but sometimes I just forget. I uh I have this philosophy that if something isn't important, or if you don't encounter it a lot, you're likely to forget it. So like I believe that memory goes off of perceived importance, and like repetition. So like if you try to memorize something and spend a lot of time on it and just kind of like repeat it, you'll eventually memorize that thing. Or if it's like super important, like a birthday or anniversary or something like that, you'll remember that pretty easily too. So that's my philosophy on memory. Gives me an excuse to forget about things sometimes. I'm like, well, that's just not important to me, so I don't have to remember that. I love that movie, Finding Nemo. A little bit of a highlight in there. So I think this picture is going to look good. Hopefully I can get enough in the time allowed. But usually these things work out. So I think it was Kinsley who asked like, how do I go about drawing? This is probably a good example of how you can like kind of get some of the basic drawing stuff in there. So like I'm going to show like hopefully once I get past this eye, I'm going to show how you can kind of like quickly get a lot of form in pretty easily. So I actually do like this eye here, so I'll come back to that. Let me go over here and move on to this one. So I don't know, like, do you guys celebrate St. Patrick's Day? I don't know if any of you guys mentioned that you guys do. Like I said, it's one of my favorite holidays. I spent the entire day yesterday at the pub. Like, I wasn't drinking the whole time, but I was there listening to music. Um, and on Saturday, I went to like a little St. Patrick's festival. That was pretty nice. I started my day off on Saturday at a pub watching rugby, which I'm not like a big sports guy myself. Plus, rugby is like something that's not very popular here in the States, so that's it's not something I follow all that often. But it was Ireland playing um, Italy, I think, and like just kind of rivalries and stuff like that. I obviously I was siding with the Irish people, but apparently they're pretty good at rugby. They won, so good for them. I don't think they're gonna go all the way though, based on like what other people say. So I guess we'll see. Um, Rome Dog says I used to, but they would give it to Wild Jeremy. Yeah. Well, like it's once a year. Well, twice a year. Sorry. I pretend to be Irish. Well, I have Irish ancestry, right? But like I'm an American. I'm not Irish. But I pretend to be Irish at St. Patrick's Day. And then I joke that like I'm Irish on St. Patrick's Day, and then I'm German during Oktoberfest. Because like that's the other time. It's mostly about the beer, really, when you get down to it. But my mom's got some German in her and stuff, so it's not like I'm cheating. I am really, kind of in there, but I don't know. I'm not really any of those things. I'm a dumb boy from Kentucky. Actually, I'm not even from. Well, yeah, no, I am from Kentucky because I was born in Kentucky. Um, I spent most of my time here in Kentucky, but most of my family is from like South Carolina, so I kind of like consider myself mostly from South Carolina just because that's where all my cousins and uncles and extended family, that's where they live. All right, so this is an example of how you get in a bunch of forms. So like you could draw lines to represent the lion's face. Um, but a better method is I'm going to take this blending stump here and I'm going to use this stick charcoal. I'm not using my pencil at all, so I'm just going to put that to the side. I'm going to use this blending stump and this stick of charcoal, and I'm just going to use this to quickly get in shapes, okay? Not even lines, but just shapes, right? So like this is the brow of the lion, kind of coming up here, kind of going up into like this head. So I'm getting in some shapes here that are really to like represent the shadows and to some extent like the fur, but I'm not too worried about like detail. Like this is all like you guys have seen me do this with the pastel stuff. This is kind of like an underpainting, sort of. But also, it's not just an underpainting. Its purpose is to give form to the thing I'm drawing, right? So like got like a bridge of a nose in here. Again, not worried about detail, not worried about drawing fur or anything like that. Just drawing kind of like shadows and like giving the nose like a little bit of shape. And I'm doing this like with the blending stump, so that's nice and soft, and it's like, hey, because I can. How's it going? Jeez, it's about time you guys showed up. Don't say that because I'll think that I forgot to hit play again. Then one time you guys were in here chatting and everything, and um, and I'm like, oh yeah, I thought I was having a conversation with you guys, and it turned out I hadn't even turned on the recording or like the streaming yet. So don't tease me like that. I'll think that I screwed up again. Because like I feel like I'm fairly competent when it comes to technology and stuff, but I always make simple mistakes. Like I understand what the buttons do, I just forget to push them. That's all. So again, this is to like give your thing shape, right? So like you're never drawing lines real. I mean, well, sometimes you are. Like I should never say never. Most of the time you're drawing forms, you're not drawing lines, unless you're doing like I don't know, like cartoons or something like that, or like two-dimensional line drawings, comics, things like that. Even when doing comics though, and like modern comics are pretty three-dimensional. But say you're drawing something two-dimensional, um, you would be drawing lines in those cases, but most times you're drawing forms, right? So like it's all shadows and highlights and things like that. So like here on this nose, this area is dark. You got some highlights on this nose, but for the most part, it's in shadow. You can quickly get those parts in. Yuck has started to clean Balto. I know I'm not pronouncing that correctly. Kinsley says, I'll be back. Gonna go join my on my iPad. My phone is at 20%. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of obsess about the power of my phone. Like I know that I'm in the minority, but whenever it gets down below like 50%, I start not really panicking, but I start worrying about it. So like I usually keep my phone charged most of the day. Hey, Mama Q, how's it going? Well, I'm keeping a nice steady alcohol level, and then I think that that's going to help me out. Um, Thankfully, over the weekend I was mostly drinking Guinness, right? Which doesn't have I think it's like I don't know 4 or 5% alcohol by volume. It's not a lot of alcohol in it, especially compared to like bourbon and stuff that I usually drink. Um, so I never really felt drunk really over the weekend, even though I did like have a steady stream of drinks throughout the day. But I enjoy it. I love that. Like honestly, I would drink Guinness. Like oh, this is going to be a lion. Yeah, sorry. I know it doesn't look like it yet, but it will eventually be a lion. But yeah, so like I can drink Guinness like it's I don't know like soda or something like that, and probably it would probably take a little while for me to actually get drunk off of that, just because I drink bourbon pretty regularly. So again, just quickly getting in some forms. Not worried about details, just kind of figuring out where different things are. We'll worry about getting some details in later. Um, this is all like kind of like a base for that kind of stuff. So like for example, here on the jaw line, it's a little bit lost in shadow, so we want to get all that stuff in there. Tonal values is what we're shooting for here, and giving ourselves something to kind of like draw over later on. Different people use different techniques to do this stuff. I mean, sometimes I just kind of scribble and just kind of like smooth it out with my hands. I've gotten in the habit of using one of these like little blending stumps to do this instead, and that works for me. But yeah, like there are a lot of different ways to work with charcoal. Um, there's no correct way. There's probably some principles that you're shooting for, kind of like like I said, I'm shooting for like adding like form to this thing. So that's probably something you would be doing no matter what technique you use. But you know, there's a bunch of different ways to go about it, I guess. Hey, Coopart, how's it going? Sounds like you're doing great, kiddo. That line already looks majestic. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Thank you for asking. Hopefully your holiday weekend went well if you're into that St. Patrick's Day kind of stuff. Next thing I'm looking forward to is this weekend. We've got another one of those gallery hops going on, and I think it's going to be fun. I hate to like reshoot video of the same thing, but I enjoyed shooting video of the last gallery hop. I might do that again this time, just because I think I might go to different galleries this time and kind of like explore it in different ways. Again, none of this is supposed to look like quality art here. This is like quickly just getting some material in that we can work with as we go along. Got an ear up here. I wanted to get in. Just almost like a little bit of a scribble, but softly. Um, it's just basically to give myself again like an underpainting of charcoal that I can use to create detail over. Mostly scribbles. There was a technique that I used to use, and I probably should still do it every now and then, where I just kind of scribble and like lift some stuff up to create the form of the animal, but not doing that this time. So some of these marks you do want to keep loose because that's a cool style, right? So like one of the um one of the worst things that I personally feel like you can do, but I don't know, different art styles, like if you're going for ultra realism or something like that, don't listen to me. But I don't like to. I like to draw pretty loosely. Um, so I like to have these kind of scribble marks and stuff and then kind of leave them in the final product. Because like, it's a lion. Hair is going to be kind of going all over the place. So for you to have random lines just kind of shooting all over the place, that kind of makes sense. All right, so I kind of really want to get some dark area in here. In fact, I'm going to cheat and actually use my get some darker areas underneath that chin. And then, this part I'm kind of doing like I do my pastels, where just kind of laying it down and then kind of blending it in with my finger. There's some more dark area back over here. Combining watercolor and charcoal might be fun sometime. I wonder how that would look. I'm sure it would be good. And Young says, I love animals. Great. This is the place for you because I draw a lot of animals. I really do. I was worried about like kind of being typecast. Like I don't want to just draw animals. Uh, I want to like branch out and draw other things and stuff, but I do like drawing animals so much. All right. Okay, so I think that's a pretty good start for where I'm at. Now the next part of the technique that I want to show is where I actually paint. Um, I got some water here, got a little paintbrush, and I'm using my charcoal. It's kind of like watercolor, right? And I'm going to like kind of just paint in some marks as if I'm doing watercolor. Now, this is something I enjoy doing. It is something maybe not everybody would enjoy doing. One of the things is once you start doing this part, so like this other stuff I can kind of like erase and lift up and stuff like that. Once you start painting with the charcoal, your paper becomes um, pretty much stained with charcoal. So I just wanted to throw that out there. At this point, you're kind of committed to where things are. That's why I make this my second step instead of starting with this. Um, I like to do the scribble stuff first, just so that I kind of figure out where everything is. But I have a kind of an idea of where everything is on this guy already. But this part, as you can see, it kind of like really blends in this charcoal tone and kind of gives you this really nice smoothed out tone to work with. So You're still waiting for your drawing next. Did you send me a picture to draw, or was there I don't remember. Sometimes I get emails and I forget them. Like I just replied is because yeah, because I can. I just replied to any like a text I got from the other day. I forgot all about it. Oh, you just said it? Oh, sorry. Let me Oh, you want me to draw something for you that you mentioned above? Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and look for that. Sorry. Was a little bit distracted. Probably won't get to it this time. I usually only draw one thing each time I do one of these, but yeah, definitely maybe I can work on it next time. So yeah, I mean I like drawing pictures that people want up in here. Sometimes that helps so that I don't have to think about what I'm drawing. Like tonight, I had to think what did I want to draw, and I'm like, well, it's been a little while since I've done charcoal, and I don't think I've ever done a lion, which is just wrong concerning I do so much wildlife. The thing is, I usually do like woodland wildlife, right? Like dogs and like deer or, you know, chipmunks or whatever, squirrels. I don't usually draw jungle animals. I don't know why. It's just, I feel like, once I start doing that, I should really commit to it and do like a series. But then I never do. So again, it's all about building up form and getting some shadows up in here. Like here on the edge of his mouth, it's a little bit darker. Again, using it almost like watercolor, even though it is charcoal. Um, I don't know who came up with this idea, but it works really well. Considering, if you think about what watercolor actually is, it's just pigment and kind of a binder, right? So it's like basically how charcoal is anyway. Charcoal is just like a pigment. I don't know if charcoal qualifies as a pigment. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but I'm speaking in general terms. It's kind of a pigment locked inside of a binder as well. So it's basically watercolor on a stick. It's not, but I'm gonna pretend like it is. I do think I'm like one step away from like doing full on watercolor pictures because like I do a lot of watercolor like techniques, even though I don't really just stick with watercolor. I usually do like a lot of multimedia, medium kind of stuff. Mixed medium, I guess is the phrase. Yeah, I don't want to get too crazy with this stuff, but I do want to get some of this in here. The brush also works well to do like hair. So like you can see like I can get some um soft smooth areas in here, but then I can also kind of like fluff things up. But yeah, so there's like a gallery hop this weekend. I'm looking forward to. I think that's going to be fun. How you guys all been? I feel like I talk a lot about myself. How you guys been? You guys doing well? You guys work on any cool art projects lately, or um, I hear it's spring break out there somewhere. Anybody doing spring break or anything like that? Now is the time to go traveling, I think, down to Florida or something like that because the weather is supposed to be super nice. It's been a while since I lived in Florida, but it is probably nice this time of year, I would imagine. I would love to get away. Can't do it. I'm busy. I feel like I'm always busy. I want to be always busy though. Like that doesn't bother me at all. I would hate to be sitting around having nothing to do. Kinsley, a one-handed handstand. I'm getting the itch for a road trip. Yeah, so that's what I want. I want a road trip. I haven't had a need to go out west in a while, but I used to do that every summer, and I am itching for something like that. Um, actually, I haven't been traveling that much at all lately. My younger brother, I don't know if he's watching or not, but my younger brother lives in Maryland, and I haven't had a chance to go up to visit him yet, which is a shame because I want to really bad. I want to go up to Maryland and up to like the Smithsonian Art Museum or like the National Gallery of Art or whatever the name of it is. I don't know. But yeah, like and I want to visit my younger brother and my niece up there, and I just haven't done it. It's on my list this year. I will almost certainly get to it at some point this year. Don't know when. Hey, okay, Larry, how's it going? Yeah, I haven't seen Larry in a while. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully the weather. So Larry actually lives in Florida. Hopefully the weather is nice down there. All right. So now that we got some of this stuff going, um, I do want to get some details in here, but before I do that, so like my other pictures that I do like to put in some splatter effects just so that I can kind of hide the edge down here. So this is another part of my technique where I don't want just like this disembodied, lion head just kind of floating around. I put in these like splatters so that it kind of dissolves as it kind of gets further away from the face. So like wherever your focal point is, obviously in this case it's the eyes. You kind of want it to move away from that and become like a little bit dissolved. Now I end up splattering like this stuff everywhere, so that kind of sucks. So make sure you uh make sure you have like a workspace that you can splatter. Like this poor guy, he's got like charcoal splatters all over him. Um, he knew what he was signing up for though. But it kind of cool. It creates this cool like little almost like ink blot kind of look. All right, so I'm happy with that. I'm gonna leave that to the side. I'll probably come back to it. I'm gonna go back to my pencil now and try to get some detail in this and see if we can kind of create something that looks a little, you know, more natural. But we're only 30 minutes into this and it's already starting to look like a lion, so that's kind of cool. All right. Anyway, so now we do the controlled part of the drawing where you know we use our pencil. We kind of create some marks intentionally rather than just kind of like randomly, and see how that goes. And we can kind of control how dark these are a little bit more than some of the watercolor stuff. But we're doing great on time, so I'm going to take my time with this kind of stuff. I want I want some serious detail in here. Jeremy sure makes drawing easy. Well, I'm glad it looks that way. Actually, I do think that drawing is easier than people think it is. Like I feel like people talk themselves out of like drawing a lot because they think that it requires like some magical skill set, which there is some skill to it, but the skill is like an acquired ability. It's not something that like you're just born with, right? So like the more you practice, the better you're going to get at drawing. Um, but as far as like the actual skill set to do this stuff, I mean, you see what I'm doing here. There's really only like three basic steps to it. One is getting the form of the lion in there. Two is creating some splatter effects and like smoothing things out, blending things. And then the third step is the step that I'm working on now, which is, you know, adding detail over all of that stuff. The I mean, I don't think it's fair to call it a three-step process, but it's kind of like three-step adjacent at least. Um, I feel like this is something that anybody could do. Maybe it won't look like a lion the first time you do it, but I feel like if you practice this method, eventually you'll get to where you're creating animals that kind of look pretty realistic, I guess. Not really. So sorry, realistic is not the goal. The goal is kind of like a hybrid abstract realism where It's partially realistic, but it's also stylized. So I feel like if you practice this technique, you'll end up with a nice stylized, almost realistic, practically realistic effect. But anyway, I've been doing it a while, so like I've I've gotten used to it. Probably the first couple of times that you do it, you generally, um, it may seem a little awkward, but I feel like you can pick it up. There's not there's like a science to the art of it, essentially. It's an art and a science. It's crazy how Geppetto can do a one-handed handstand, but I can't. I can't do it. Well, I don't. I can do one if I'm leaning up against a wall. If I don't have like a wall to prop me up, I can't do I can't do a handstand. There's people who can do like cartwheels and stuff. I could never do a cartwheel. I was always impressed when people could do like cartwheels on at will. I could never do that. I'm not very coordinated at all. Like I've tried to, like I can't dance really. I mean I can kind of like move around a little bit and like I don't know, look like I'm having a seizure or something like that, but I can't really dance. I've never had any kind of like body coordination or anything. So as far as doing a handstand, I'm probably just going to like end up hurting myself. So at this point, I'm trying to match the values in the reference picture and try to get some fur up in here. I'm not too concerned about detail just because of like how this picture is. Like it doesn't have to have like a whole. I'm not trying to create like a photo here. I tell you what though, I've been watching some people who create like photorealistic art, and I'm talking about paintings, right? So like, there's this guy who's been painting the same painting for I swear 2 weeks now, and every time I think he's done, he starts a new live stream and he just adds some more to it, and I'm like, wow, when is this ever going to get done? And the thing is, it's like it's not like he's just wasting time on it. It is becoming a photo. That is how detailed the picture is that he's working on, and I'm so impressed with that guy's patience and skill. That guy has both, and like he is he is super good at what he does, but also he has the patience of like I don't know, like a monk or something. It's amazing to me how how great his pictures look, and it's not like, and it's kind of funny actually because like I talk to him sometimes in through the live chat while he's working, and I ask him questions and stuff, and he's like, yeah, like I don't. This isn't even the kind of art I like, and it's like what? He's apparently he likes abstract art. He's just really really good at doing realistic art, and it's just funny to me that some people are like that. That they're just really good at something, and they don't really care about it. They'd rather do something else. It's just funny to me. Um, I was able to do upside down wall push. What? No, I can't do that. Nope. I mean, I will try and probably hurt myself trying to do it, but no, I can't. I can't do. I can barely do regular push-ups. So that's some upside down wall push-ups. That's crazy. You guys crazy. But yeah, like it does amaze me that some people are really good at something, but that's not really what they like to do. Like I feel fairly competent in doing animal drawings, but I do sometimes want to move beyond doing animal drawings. I don't know what else I'd like to do. I really would like to get better at portraits. Um, but, you know, I also, okay, I do know what I want to do. To be honest with you, I don't know how to get there. Maybe you guys have some ideas. You know, 100 pounds ago, better than 100 years ago. Rain said lion looks great. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Um, seems you know nomadic as well. You talk about nomadic madman. He's in here sometimes. So I'll tell you what I want to do. On my community tab, I posted a simple um, street art picture that I saw over the weekend. It's very simple. It's just a fox pouncing on a mouse, and the mouse has a shield and like a spear. And I like it. I love it, actually. I would love to create art like that. But I'll tell you why I like it. What I like about it is even though it's so simple and there's not much to it, it tells a story. There's a story in that little tiny picture of a fox pouncing on that mouse that I would like to be able to incorporate into my own art. So I've got this really cool looking picture of a lion here, but I can tell you when it's all said and done, it's not telling a story. It's just a portrait of a lion. Like maybe it exudes strength or any of the other things that you might associate with lions, wisdom, you know, royalty. I don't know. Um, but it doesn't tell a story, and I feel like I want to start telling some stories through my art. Yeah, the mouse had a sword, a shield, and a sword. Yeah, so there's like just in that little tiny drawing. If you imagine that drawing being like a one panel comic book, it's still a complete story. You wonder what's going to happen to that mouse. What is the story there? Why is there beef between this fox and this mouse? How long has this struggle been going on? It's like all this crazy stuff that probably nobody actually thinks about. It's just how my mind works. Um, it's just I love that kind of thing, and I feel like that's probably my next evolution in drawing. Like I don't know when I'll get to that point, but I feel like at some point I'm going to want to actually say something with my art. And I don't feel like I'm there yet. I don't feel like my art currently says anything at all, really. It looks cool and I'm enjoying it and I'm learning skills and stuff, but I'm not telling any stories through my art. And I feel like, there's a point in time where every artist wants to start doing that. And we'll see. We'll see where it goes. But yeah, that's something I'd like to get to. Um, like I talk all the time about how much I would love to do public art anyway. But yeah, that little mouse, he's a survivor. He's he's like he's representing the entire mouse kingdom or whatever mouse village against that crazy fox. But no, I thought that was cool. I was just walking around. Um, I was the weather was actually bad this weekend. So the St. Patrick's Day festival that I usually go to that has like a parade and like vendors and stuff like that all outdoors and stuff. It was moved indoors to this place called the Lyric Theater, which is kind of a cool theater. It's like it's historical here in Lexington, Kentucky. They have like an African American art museum in there as well. Um, there's like a lot of cultural type like stuff that goes on there. Like they had the I don't know if any of you guys like Kentucky music, like bluegrass music, that sort of stuff. They do this thing called the Wood Songs Old Time Radio Hour there, which is kind of like the old Renfro Valley kind of music shows. If you're into music, I recommend looking it up. Like it's a Woodsong Old Time Radio Hour, and they play it on the public radio here, but I think it's also syndicated. Anyway, you can probably just listen to it on the website itself. But they record all that there. So I went there for the St. Patrick's Festival, and that was the first time I had been there, and it was kind of cool. Like I said, they have like an African American art museum there, or not art museum, more like a gallery, I think. Um, and it's kind of cool to see that. But then, like, I kind of want to go back and just kind of hang out in the theater for like some of these cultural things that they got going on. So I think I am going to go to the Woodsong thing at some point. And if I do, maybe I'll do like a drawing inspired by that. But yeah, if you like that kind of music and stuff like that, I recommend it. It's a really cool radio program. Like I said, I listen to it like on the local radio, but you can probably they probably have like a web version of it that you can probably tune into. I don't know. If anybody's interested, I'll look into it more for you. But yeah, so like I don't know, long story short, on the way to the theater, walking through town, waiting for that big tornado to come because the weather was terrible. I saw that little fox and mouse on the side of a building. There, surprisingly, for such a like Lexington is not a big town. We're basically a college town. We have the University of Kentucky here, and that's basically it. Like we have some other stuff and everything, but it as far as like towns, it's on the smaller end. Um, so surprisingly, um, we have like a pretty good art culture here, where we do have like a number of like street murals, things like that. I always love those type of things. Um, maybe when I'm walking around this weekend uh, for the uh, gallery hop, I'll take some more pictures of that kind of stuff and share it with you guys. But I love the street art in this town. Like I said, it's there's surprisingly a lot of it, and that little fox and mouse and stuff. That's the kind of stuff I really enjoy. Just a little simple thing, where some artists came by. I don't know if they had permission to do that or they like the vandalism, but little things like that are cool. Trying to get some hair in here. This guy's got some wispy manes. Yeah, I love bluegrass music myself, MJ. It's not, I like all kinds of different music, so it's not something that I listen to all the time, but it is something that I keep coming back to. I really do enjoy it. You can never go wrong with bluegrass music. And it's part of American culture. So like if you're in New Orleans, you're listening for like jazz and stuff like that. When you're in Kentucky, you're listening for bluegrass and stuff. It's just part of the stuff. Like you come to Kentucky, you eat the food and stuff. You enjoy I don't know like horse races, and you listen to the music, and the music just happens to be bluegrass. So the combination of different effects. Sorry, I'm burping up lunch or sorry dinner. Um, the combination of different effects I think work really well. Like the different ways of using charcoal. I do love charcoal. It's one of my favorite mediums. For some reason, I'm drawn to dry mediums like charcoal and pastel. Whenever it's color, I want to use pastel. Whenever it's black and white, I kind of want to use charcoal. It's just something I really, really like. Again, I'm destined to be a painter. At some point, I will get into painting more. Um, I'm kind of on this slow, um, self-taught kind of trajectory as far as like my art career goes. And I'm not like in any hurry. So like if I never get there until like I'm 90 or something like that, that's fine as long as I master painting by the time I'm 90. So I'm not on any hurry. If I get hit by a bus tomorrow, it's all moot anyway. Um, but right now I'm into the dry mediums like pastel and charcoal. But these are skills that I think carry over, right? So like, thanks, From Dog. I appreciate that. What do we listen to in Iowa, Jeremy? I don't know what you listen to in Iowa. What's what is what is it like in Iowa? I don't know. You listen to corn, like just corn shucks, like kind of. You listen to like um, what is it, locusts or something? Whatever eats corn, that's what you hear. I don't know. Is there like a music for Iowa? I don't. I'm not even sure. Did I pass through Iowa on the same way? Yeah, corn the band. Um, I'm not sure I actually passed through Iowa. I don't think I've ever been to Iowa. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at a map. My my travels out west took me through some places I would probably never visit. But I don't remember ever going through Iowa. Kansas. I love Kansas. Like Kansas is like a surprise winner for me. Like all you ever hear about is how Kansas is boring and how it's flat and how you just really don't want to drive through it, and you know you just kind of want to fly over it because nobody wants to drive through Kansas. I loved it. I loved Kansas. Every time I stopped to get gas, it was at this cool little like I don't know like country store or something like that. I love that. I love that aspect of it. And like you know, they say it's flat, and it's true. It is flat, but it's kind of like a rolling flatness. Like there are some like gentle hills in Kansas. Um, the one thing I didn't like about Kansas really is because and it's mostly just because of how my car is. My car has this problem with aerodynamics. For some reason, anytime it's really super windy, it like blows the car. I don't know if it's just because it's like I don't know flat along the side. I don't know what the problem is. Um, but driving through Kansas, there was like a lot of crosswinds, and that was challenging to drive. Um, just for me because like I'm not used to having crosswinds like that. But you know, that's what powers your state, I guess, with all those big windmills they have now. Um, yeah, there are some gentle hills. Yeah, like you know, I mean, sure, yeah, when you look out across the distance, it's like you can see 10 miles because it's so flat. But you know, it's not completely flat. There's some trees in there, and you know, there's like I said, some gentle rolling hills. Anyway, it just seemed that way to me. Maybe I'm like misremembering it, but the other thing is like, why does Kansas get so much flack when half of Colorado is the same? Like people, when people think of Colorado, they think of mountains and stuff like that. That's only half the state. The rest of it is flat as Kansas, you know. So I don't think it's fair that Kansas gets such a bad rap. Um, you know, I went camping in Kansas. You know, I was rather proud of it. It was the halfway point. I forget the town. I think it was Paxico, Kansas, but I don't know if that was the halfway point or not. But you know, basically middle of the United States. I love that kind of stuff. And you know, all the people in Kansas just seem super nice, and the people, half the people were just passing through. Like it always seemed like whenever I went through Kansas, it was like, well, I'm just one of many other people passing through. I don't know if I actually met that many people who actually live in Kansas. I'll tell you what I thought about Kansas. Like I don't know why we're talking about Kansas, but we might as well talk about it. Um, the One of the things that I was curious about with Kansas is that there is so much space in between things, right? Like it really is just like open air country out there, right? So where I live, I am 10 minutes away from Walmart, right? It is not difficult for me to like go out and pick up some art supplies, for example, or pick up some dinner or something like that. I don't know where people go to the store in Kansas. I never saw any of that stuff. Like you get out there and on one of these like little dirt road, well, not dirt roads, but you get out there away from the interstate, um, and it's like, how do people eat? Like, where do you guys literally go to grocery shop? It's if I feel like you have like 50 miles before you ever get to somewhere. There was a road that I was on. I don't remember if it was Colorado or if it was Kansas. But I was driving at night. It was middle of the night. I was just trying to get back from a trip, and you know, I'm driving through the night. But um, I remember it was like the straight road. I swear it went on for 50 miles without a single turnoff. Like, and I'm talking about there was no driveways, there was no side roads, there was nothing for like 50 miles. It was just 50 miles of nothing. Cornfields everywhere. Um, you know, Yeah, it's just it's so strange to me. I don't know how you guys live out there, to be honest. Like I'm sure. Uh, I always said, "Well, I understand why Dorothy left Kansas." There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Jocelyn says, "Hi everyone, Jeremy. I like your lion. Thank you so much. I appreciate it." Hammerstein State Fair, nice. Yeah, it's like I don't know. I'm concerned about you guys out in Kansas. I really am. Like, what do you guys do? What do you guys do for fun? Where do you guys shop at? Like I was thinking like do you guys just like buy stuff from Amazon or something? They deliver it? Like how does that work? Because I didn't see anything. Nothing at all for like miles and miles and miles. My folks used to live up in Ohio, in a little small town called Ripley, and they would have to drive a half hour just to like go and get gas and stuff. And I feel like you guys have to drive like an hour to get anywhere at all. Like you probably like only go out and buy food, like groceries and stuff once a month, and it's not because you're broke. It's because like it's a big chore, you know. Or like man, I don't know. You guys are a bunch of farmers and stuff. Maybe you grow all your food. I don't know. I don't know how it works. Yeah, Kansas is confusing to me, but I love it. It's beautiful out there. It really is. I am not. I am not trying to um, put your state down at all. I am a fan of Kansas. There's this one place that I drove through. Um, we have some of this stuff in Kentucky, but you guys had like really went really crazy with it. Um, so there's a concept of street art, right? Like in town in cities and stuff like that, where you go out and there's like murals on the wall, there's like graffiti kind of stuff. You can tell like urban art when you see it. There is a similar thing in Kansas and probably elsewhere where it's this rural yard art. That's the best way I can explain it, and it's not really junk art. Maybe it is junk art. I don't know, but like you have like these fields of like rusted sculptures of like all kinds of like weather vanes, old signs, busted up cars. Um, it, I've never seen anything like it's not like I traveled to a bunch of other countries and stuff like that, but I've never seen any kind of like reference to this junk art in other countries. I think it's strictly an American thing, and it's probably mostly Kansas, to be honest. But you guys excel. And by you, I don't know if anybody in here is actually from Kansas, but I'm speaking to the internet right now. Um, you guys you guys out there in Kansas, you guys excel in this like junk art. There was this guy in Louisville. They they ended up shutting him down. It kind of sucks. He was an older guy. He ended up passing away eventually, but he used to have this yard that was just full of like Jerry's Junk is the name of the place. Like you can actually Google it and stuff. It's probably still around in Google. But it was in Louisville, Jerry's Junk, and he just had all this cool stuff. He had like old photo, phone booths and stuff, like the British kind with the red ones. Um, he had like this giant statue of the like giant replica of the Statue of Liberty, but with Nixon's face on it. Um, just all kinds of junk in his yard. It was just awesome. Yeah, it's like kind of Fred Sanford, but like literally artistic. It's like um, I don't know how to. I really don't know how to describe it, and I don't think I can describe it in any other way than calling it junk art. Um, but hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about. But you guys have a lot of that stuff out in like Western city, like states and cities and stuff like that. And I'm a fan of it. I think it's cool. Like you guys have entire junk cities. Um, I think it's a cool way to like kind of recycle stuff. I mean, I'm not like a big environmentalist, but anytime that you can recycle something, um, or like repurpose it and give it new life, I I, I support that. And recycling old junk art, junk into art is something I don't know if I'll ever do. I'm not like a sculptor, and I think a lot of it is sculpture. I don't know how to pronounce that, but anyway, um, I just think it's so cool. Like I said, um, there was a couple places in Kansas that was like that, and I was always deeply impressed by it. How you could take just like old beat up weather vanes and old beat up cars and stuff and just turn it into art. Anyway, that's what I remember of Kansas. I'm a huge fan of Kansas. It's I just don't know how you guys live. Like I literally don't know how you guys eat. Just because I don't know how you find a grocery store around you guys. I don't know. We're starting to get some detail in this guy's face. I like it. Again, like I said, all that preliminary work is just to kind of like lay the groundwork for these deeper stages where you actually get some of the details to kind of come out. But it really is like about building up form in your work. Like we want this guy to look like a lion, so we need to build up that facial structure, the fur. Again, it's not really about drawing individual pieces of fur. It's more about, you know, how's this guy's mouth work? How's this part work? How's the chin work? And so on. How's that stuff hidden in shadows and highlighted and and so on. Some of it is like detailed, and some of it is just sketching. You know, I like I like I like this kind of work. This is fun. I was debating on doing a lion in ink, to be honest. Just because I did like a horse in ink the other day. But the closer I got to like you know, I should say I think I mentioned this before, but sometimes I have no idea what I'm going to be drawing until like 5 minutes before I come in here, and that's why I seem so flustered when I start the stream because I literally just sat down and thought of, hey, I'm going to draw this tonight. Um, so I kind of went back and forth on what I was going to do tonight, but it really was that I hadn't done charcoal in a while. But I was considering doing this guy in ink instead, just because I did a horse in ink recently, and that turned out pretty well. One of the other things I was kind of lightweight considering doing in ink is I was going to do like Bob Ross at some point in ink, just because I kind of want to draw it like his fro in like ink. I feel like that would be kind of like doing a like a bush or something like that. So I'll probably get around to doing that at some point. We'll see. I got to be get to see me doing Amazon. Yeah, so like imagine like when you were doing Amazon delivery, I'm sure you saw some things in people's yards. I mean, I wish I was just thinking about this today actually. I wish I lived in town. Um, I live in like a little boring suburb, and you know, like in a boring neighborhood and stuff. I've lived in in cities before, like in downtown areas of cities, and I kind of wish I still did because I would love to be doing like street art out there in the public. Where I'm at, nobody would ever see it, you know? I kind of feel like I want to share. But yeah, I can imagine you know, driving around Kansas or something like that, you probably see quite a bit of those. But yeah, if you ever get bored and you just want to see what I'm talking about as far as just like junk, look up Jerry's junk art or something in Louisville, Kentucky. And I've been out there a couple of times and stuff before. Again, you know, eventually the poor guy, he was older. He passed away eventually and stuff. But before that, the city made him like get rid of some of the stuff. And it's just kind of sad because like to me it was art. To the city it was like junk. And you know, they started enforcing like some sort of like junk laws. I don't know what's out there and stuff like that. But apparently you can't just have junk in your own yard. I don't know. I don't know what the laws are, so I can't even tell if I'm like against them or whatever. I'm just complaining to complain. But it uh it was kind of sad because I always thought his stuff was cool, and I'm not the only one. A lot of people did. It probably was some sort of fire hazard, to be honest. Um, in fairness, but I never thought so. I just thought it was cool stuff. He had like a he had like a full size ET just like laying in his yard and stuff. It was cool. I miss him. I mean, I didn't really know him, but I did talk to him at least, and he seemed like a cool guy. He was really into his stuff. He was very proud to show it off and share it with the public and stuff like that. And if that isn't art, I don't know what art is, to be honest. All right, so I think this is a pretty good face so far. Got some work to do still. How are we doing on time? We're doing okay on time. So I kind of want to fill in this area. This area looks pretty empty here. That's not a lion, that's a giraffe. Well, like if you ever met this guy out in public or like in the jungle or whatever, you don't want to mistake him for a giraffe. That's another thing I haven't drawn, surprisingly. I need to basically I just need to draw more of these type of animals. Like I said, I've been drawing mostly North American woodland animals. Things you might see if you're like going to hike out here in Kentucky or wherever you might be. Um, I haven't done very many like safari kind of animals and stuff like that, and I feel like I should. Especially with giraffes. I love giraffes. Who doesn't like giraffes? Everybody loves giraffes. So I will fix that mistake in the future. Get some when you have a lot of area to cover, it does help to like use one of these techniques like this painting technique. Just so that like it's not all just lines and stuff. Like the more lines that you draw and stuff like that, it the less it really looks like the style that I'm shooting for. You know what I mean? I'm shooting for like something where it's a little bit detailed, but a lot abstracted. Like I feel like as you get further away from the face, it kind of should be a bunch of splotches and smudges and things like that. That's a cooler style, I think. And he's got this big mane and stuff. It's supposed to be all like all over the place and crazy. I'm getting charcoal everywhere. I'm gonna have to clean this up later, but it's worth it. Art's supposed to be messy, right? And Young says, "Wow, hopefully that's about this." But I do like to, like combine some of these different techniques together. That's actually kind of cool, like just kind of splotted like that. Especially like the further you get away from the face. Because yeah, I mean you can spend a lot of time like trying to get the darker values in here and stuff, but this is just gonna look cooler, to be honest. Get some of his jaw in here. I know this is like a non sequitur, but the St. Patrick's Day food that I ate was really good too. I've been eating like a lot of corned beef lately. I love this time of year because I've mentioned before I'm not a particularly religious person, but I do participate in some um, traditional stuff that people do. Like I don't participate in Lent, for example, but I love a good fish fry. So this time of year is I go looking for really good beer battered fish, and I just love I just love that this time of year. That and the corned beef. I didn't realize like a Reuben wasn't. I always thought Reubens were like German. I don't know why, but apparently they're Jewish. I always associated them with St. Patrick's Day. Um, I think because of the corned beef and stuff. But I've been eating a lot of Reubens lately too. Like I think I always thought they were German because of sauerkraut, but I don't know. I don't know anything about anything. Um, but yeah, I've been eating like a lot of Reubens lately. Hey, life travel and art, how's it going? I appreciate the compliment. Kinsley says, I love this lion, Jeremy. Thank you so much. Because I came in here with the nice factoids. Female lions hunt in packs. Male lions hunt solo. I think this would be a male lion. I think that's what I'm drawing. Like the female lion, I should know these things. I really should. I'm stupid. Um, the female lions don't have manes at all, right? They're just basically big cats, kitty cats. I mean, obviously they're more than kitty cats, but they don't have any of this stuff. I don't think. Yeah, I'm definitely drawing a. Okay, thanks, MJ. I appreciate you guys telling me what I should already know. I don't know these things. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, okay? I just draw pictures, okay? I really should like I don't know, I tell myself this every time. Sometimes I have a sticky note here like off camera so that I know these things. But I always forget to do that beforehand. Um I feel like I should know more about this stuff. I'm getting better at the dogs though. Like I've actually been like learning about dog breeds. Part of the reason I do art is so that I can learn things, make observations, learn more about wildlife and the subjects that I draw. So I don't feel bad that I don't know a lot about lions, to be honest. Um, Drawing pictures of lions is how I learn about lions. Hanging out with you guys is how I learn about lions. So thank you. But yeah, that's kind of funny. Yes, it's a male lion, Jeremy. Obviously, Durr. Honestly, probably the last time I thought about lions is like when Lion King came out, the live action version. Call this guy Mufasa. Yeah, I like that. That looks good. So just a little pro tip. The more contrast that you put into your work, for one, it's going to look more realistic, but also it's going to look visually more interesting, right? So like these darker ears, the darker nose, the darker side and stuff, those all help to create contrast in the work, and it's going to look more visually cool when you do that kind of stuff. It's going to look more realistic for one because that's how life is. Life does have contrast and stuff, but um, also it's going to make the picture look cooler, which is arguably the whole thing. We want the picture to look cool. We don't care if it's realistic. We want it to look cool. This is a little wet over here still. I shouldn't be drawing over here, but I am. Anyway. Um, yeah, I don't think that that's bad to say. It's important for your pictures to look cool. It's not all about being realistic or whatever. Style matters. I think. I don't feel bad wanting my pictures to look cool. Again, usually it's blending stumps just to cover like large areas pretty quickly. That and the paintbrush does this same deal. But then the closer you get to the face, just remember that like that's where you really want to put your detail in. So you want to take more care the closer. The further away you get from the face, or like whatever the focal point is, obviously in this case it's the face. It could be something else in a larger picture. When you're doing a portrait, it's going to be the face. But yeah, let's say you're doing like landscape or something, like and you were doing like a seascape and there's like a little boat on it or something like that, like a little ship out at sea. That's your kind of focal point. So that's where you would put all your detail. And then the further you move away from that ship, you want less detail. Like even if you're the best artist in the world and you're like really good at drawing detail, you don't want your entire picture to be full of detail because then there's no contrast, right? So like the detail in the face causes contrast against the non-detailed area, and then now you know where your eyes should be focused on. If everything was detailed, your eyes are just not going to know where to go or what to do. So, um, like you spend any time drawing pictures and stuff, you'll learn that. So it's not like I'm imparting anything like really super like new or unique or anything like that. It's just if you're new to drawing or something like that, and maybe you're like me, self-taught, you never took a class or anything like that. I think the only art class I ever took was like in high school, like in one semester or something. Some of the stuff isn't obvious until you like actually think about it. And you think about it, it's like, oh yeah, it does make sense that like you put more detail around the face because you want your eyes to like zoom in on that kind of stuff. So, no, it's like he's rubbing his face all over the floor, trying to like scratch his face. I like getting shadows in around the eyes and stuff, like deep set eyes. I think that looks more realistic. Just sub Jeremy, amazing work. Thank you so much, Life Travel and Art. Yeah, I really appreciate that. And I always forget. Um, oh yeah, also said I love drawing big cats. Yeah. I always forget to ask people to like, sub and stuff like that. I appreciate it. If this is your first time here, this is basically what I do is twice a week. Sometimes I put out other videos and stuff like that, but at least every Tuesday and Thursday, um, I try to keep like a regular schedule of coming in and doing these live streams and stuff. It's mostly just hanging out with the audience. Like I said, I am self-taught. So I try to like pass on things that maybe I picked up and learned and stuff like that, but it's kind of like in a stream of consciousness kind of way. Uh, I don't I don't know what's good advice and what isn't. I try to just like basically describe what I'm doing, but yeah, I try to do this twice a week, and it's basically just hanging out, chatting with. It's a pretty good community. Everybody in here, they're all super nice. Thanks, Larry. I appreciate that. MJ says that lion looks hungry. I haven't fully. So like I have like I always split my dinners into like twos and stuff. I haven't had second dinner yet. So this lion is probably reflecting how I feel. Um, but yeah, so like we just chat and hang out and stuff like that. Not everything always comes out looking great. I mean, I try, but you know how it is. But when I'm lucky, something turns out halfway decent. I think this lion looks okay. Sometimes at times I just hate the work that I do, but I don't know. I like this guy. He looks pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna put like a little highlight on his eye up here. Hopefully this turns out all right. Yeah, I mean that's okay. Let's fix that up a little bit. Guinness, chill, man. He thinks it's time to give up already. If I can get another mark in here. This is tough because all I have is these like chunks of white pastel to get like highlights and stuff, and it's a little bit challenging to draw something so fine. So I mean, it's like a little tiny area, and I'm trying to get it in there with that thing. I don't, I don't have any pencils ready at the ready for doing that kind of stuff. But honestly, I should probably use my white gel pen to put in some some whiskers, but I'm not there yet. I'm not ready for that. How are we doing on time? We're okay on time. Get some whisker areas in here. You're okay, dog. Go relax. We're not done yet. Yeah, there's definitely some nice people in here. Are you going to draw my art? I'm sorry for spamming. So do you want, what did you want me to draw, M. Young? I'm not going to draw it tonight, but I might draw it the next time I draw. Like, I'll be back on Thursday. Um, I'm just doing I'm just doing the lion today. But if you got a request, M. Young, I'm happy to draw something for you. I uh I might have missed draw Jacques. Oh, okay. I thought you were just like talking about Jacques cleaning Balto. I'm not drawing that tonight. Because I only do like one picture at a time. But yeah, I'm happy to draw that for you. Uh next time. Maybe one of these days I'll just do like people's requests. That would be fun, right? Like maybe not to the same degree of drawing that I'm doing here. Tomorrow, Wednesday, I won't be live streaming tomorrow. Wow, you really won, Jacques. John, I love your enthusiasm. I love it. Great. Dog, chill. Um, so not tomorrow either. Maybe on Thursday. Or maybe I'll draw it like off screen or something for you and then like reveal it to you on Thursday. But I will definitely remember to do that. I do like your enthusiasm. I'm very impressed. Do clean me up like Chuck is. Okay. Yeah. I get like I get requests sometimes, but they're usually like, "Hey, can you draw my dog?" Or "Can you draw my just something like I don't know, more personal or something." All right. Let's see if I can get some like little marks in here with the eraser. There we go. Kind of lift some of that up. Okay. I don't know if this is going to work, but I am going to try. Lion chill. All right, I'm gonna try to get see if this works. Yeah, that works. Cool. All right, so over the charcoal, I'm using this gel pen, and this technically makes it mixed media, but that's okay because like, how else am I gonna do this? So I'm going to get some whiskers in here, and I kind of have to keep cleaning this because like I don't know, it'll get clogged up with charcoal pretty quickly. But I think that works. Get some like little whiskers up in here. So I don't mind doing that kind of stuff. Maybe some highlights through here. I don't know. I don't want to go overboard because again, this is the ink and it's kind of cheating. Let me see if I can get that little mark up here in the eye. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I like that. That's good. Um, Maybe like a little bit of fur. Again, like you can spend forever on this. I usually only spend like under 2 hours for these live streams and stuff. But theoretically, you can, if you had the time and the inclination, you can really get some realistic fur up in this lion's face. I don't have the patience or the time in these live streams to do that, but say I wanted to develop this picture further, I could always end up spending a lot more time on it. But again, I try to keep it. I try to honestly, I try to keep it around like an hour and a half. I try to be respectful of people's time. It'd be different if I was like streaming on a weekend or something like that, but you know, people have to go to work tomorrow. People have to go to school, things like that. So I try to keep it within reason. That one artist I was telling you about that does these masterful like photorealistic stuff. I mean, that guy, He streams all day. I've seen him sit there for like 5 hours straight. It's crazy. Maybe I'll be like that someday. I don't know. Right now, I don't really have the patience. I don't have the patience to be a good artist. I have the I have the patience to be a mediocre artist. I don't have the patience to be a master. I don't know. I mean, if this is like my day job or something like that, I could probably sit in a chair for like 8 hours and draw pictures. I just do this for fun. Yeah, I mean, if you're like a professional or something like that, spending I can see spending 8 hours or more on it. I would have music though. I would definitely be listening to music. I can't listen to music during these live streams because of like copyright laws and stuff like that. Or maybe there is some sort of music thing or whatever you can pay for. Um, I just haven't. All right, let's see. I think we're getting pretty close to being done. There are some like little tiny features I want to kind of reinforce here, but this guy's looking pretty good, I think, or at least I'm happy enough with him. Again, this is my first lion. I have not tackled a lion yet. I'm pretty happy with this one, let's say. Got some cool little stylistic effects on the splatters and stuff like that to make it a little bit abstract on the edges. You know, part of this stuff is necessary in my opinion because it's like you go to draw a lion, it's like where does this next stop? You don't want to just like cut it off with like a straight line or something like that. I think I think adding those splatters and stuff is super helpful. I'm young. You guys have to remind me like on Thursday or maybe not Thursday. Maybe Saturday. Maybe Saturday I'll come in and I'll do like a all requests kind of thing. Because like I think that might be kind of fun actually, where you guys just request me to draw stuff and I'll probably have to look up a reference for it or something, but I could probably do that pretty quick. And it won't be anything realistic like this. I'll just be drawing for fun and stuff like that. We'll see. I think that'd be a Saturday thing. Hey, appreciate you hanging out with me, Larry. I'm probably going to wrap this up soon so you're not missing much. But yeah, I appreciate you hopping in, man. M. Young, if you're still in here, I'm thinking Saturday. Saturday, I'm going to do an all requests thing. So we'll put a pin in that, okay? I don't want you to get mad at me because I'm not drawing your Jaquez. First off, I have to look up. It's been so long since I've seen that movie. I have to look up what he looks like. I have no idea. But I like cool things like that. Little requests. I don't get them all that often, so like I treat that stuff seriously. I want to be the artist that you guys want me to be, where I'm doing requests for you and stuff. All right, so I think this guy's looking pretty good. Let me see if there's any quick pick me up things that I can do. Maybe get some highlights up in here. Well, this is tough. I really need some more gel pens to be honest. I don't think there's that much ink left in this, but it gets kind of clogged up when you go off and use it over other mediums. But it does help to like if you want to create realistic looking fur. There's like I said, you start with that basic layer at the bottom that's all blurred out. So that kind of gives you a base, and you can add to it over time. But then you have like the darker stuff in here, and then you kind of come over it with some of these highlights and stuff. There's other ways to do this. Like you can get like a really fine eraser and do this stuff, so you don't have to really use ink and stuff. But I mean, it does look pretty realistic by creating basically, I've mentioned this before, but it's basically three layers of stuff, right? So like your dark tones, your mid tones, and then your highlights, and then also three different layers of um, detail, right? So the bottom layer is all blurred out, and then above that you add some detail, and then like some shadow detail, and then above that some highlight detail and stuff. So it's always in threes, you know. I don't know if I'm just kind of like making this up and it comes out to three, but I think that that works. So it's like layers of three. Anyway, I think this guy's about done. Yeah, take a look at this reference here real quick. Get all these pop-ups on my screen and it kind of obscures things. Get some more. Kind of want this area down here to be a little bit more. He needs a bit of a more of a beard going here. This is the fun stuff. So you see me loosely drawing with this pencil and stuff like that, and you know I'm a little nervous about it because like whenever you don't have that much control over, um, you know what your pencil is doing and stuff, it can kind of like get a little crazy, but it's also fun, you know. For me, that kind of like will it work, will it not work, that kind of stuff. I find that kind of stuff exciting. So you know, the further away you move from the face, you have a lot more flexibility in terms of like how your marks look and stuff because it really doesn't matter. You know, you want your stuff to be kind of like little a little bit abstracted out anyway. So down here can get a little more fun with my mark making, more dancing along the page. I mentioned that when I did my ink drawings and stuff like that. It really is feels like you're dancing on the page with your paper or your pen or pencil in this case. So anyway, I think this is good enough. It turned out all right. You know, you never really know until you get in there and you work with it. You know, it's, like I said, it's been a while since I worked on with charcoal, and I've never done a lion before. This was the joy. Whenever I do something and I like how it turned out, I want to do it in other mediums. So expect more lions in the future. Maybe I'll do the watercolor and pastel stuff that I've been working on. Um, like I said, anybody new and stuff, this is what we do. We hang out usually on usually on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we just kind of draw and chat and you know things like that. Because again, says nailed it. I appreciate that, man. That's awesome. Um, Miracle return for the astronauts. Oh, the astronauts are back. Nice, cool. Yeah, I couldn't do that. I could not live in a tin can for that long. That is crazy. I don't know what kind of like psych evals those guys go through, but I would fail. I would totally fail. Sometimes sometimes I get claustrophobic just laying in like bed sheets and stuff like that with the dogs around me. I get like, um, I can't have covers over my feet. I have to be wearing socks and I have to like have my feet out underneath the blanket and stuff, or else I'll feel claustrophobic. That's how claustrophobic I get. But I didn't used to be that way. I used to go cave exploring and stuff like that. So I don't know. Something that happens as I get older. I don't know why. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this line. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on a Tuesday. Um, I find that our Tuesdays seem to be our experimenting nights and stuff, and then like we do, you know, more traditional stuff on Thursdays. So I don't know what I'll work on this Thursday, but we'll see. Um, as far as like the requests and stuff, I think that that would be like a Saturday live stream where I'll just draw whatever you guys say. I think that'll be a lot of fun. So look forward to that. Hopefully I can do that this Saturday, but we'll see. But yeah, hopefully you guys have a good evening, and I will see you guys on Thursday. And my dog's well, don't drink so fast, buddy. Anyway, all right. Anyway, let me go take care of the dog. Anyway, Appreciate you guys hanging out with me on a Tuesday. I'm glad you guys like the Lion. I will be back on Thursday. I will see you guys then. Stay cool. I appreciate you guys. See you later. Bye. Thanks.